Some D&D.
Let's fucking do it. All right.
Real quick, funny story. 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I was doing a Bible study with some guys, and the other guy who's co-leading it with me is also a D&D nerd, and so we were talking about like we need to have like a first session to like go over stuff, and he's a DM, and he's like, "Yeah, man, we're just gonna have a session 0," and like 3 of the other guys were like, "Oh, okay," because they also play D&D. So that was fun.
They sounded disappointed about a session 0.
No, it was kind of like they didn't know what the first meeting was gonna be,
Ah, I love
and
session 0.
And so by
Yep.
saying it's session 0, everyone was like, "Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Now I get what you're saying."
Right. Well, it's also super important, but it should be done for every game. All right. So when last we left off, you guys were in the room with the snitch, Tipton Langley. He kind of spilled the beans on the whole shebang. I re-listened to it, and that's where we left off. Like, you guys are still in his house with him. Austin had Nitsua kind of, sentence him to a promise of servitude in more
Well,
than one.
he sentenced him to execution for crimes, but then commuted the sentence to
Right.
be delivered upon like when he if he shows
A
that,
conditional execution, if you will.
yeah,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah. So yeah, he's basically got to devote himself to the good of the colony, abandon any ties he had, and also, at least be open to hearing about the light, right? That Nitsua is making a reconnection with. Do you guys have any questions about the light, like this shit Austin started? Because it's pretty cool. But I didn't know if you guys had questions.
No, I'm liking it. I don't have questions because Ace would not have questions. So,
Yeah,
I
but you're
figure
John.
but I'm enjoying. Well, like I'm just enjoying what he's putting out there.
Okay.
It's his own personal religion that he's created.
I mean, it's a
Uh,
thing. I think it's
it's
a
actually
critical role creation.
I actually looked it up pretty. I mean, not to whatever, but like real quick, we can just do this over here. This one share like Nitsua, because I really wanted to try and actually give it some into anchoring into the world of the game. So this is I kind of took this and used this as a all of this and sort of reskinned my gray Jedi because that's what I am.
yeah,
Right. If you know, yeah, you know. So, but if you look at it, a lot of that is also you act as an intermediary between the holy and the mortal realm. Like you channel this divine power. It kind of really, really goes well with the force, but it's not the force; it's the light. So you function you function in a temple raised from childhood, which I was as a royal child. It's always tradition for someone in the royal family to be subservient because this isn't really a god. This is the light of all the gods, right?
Right.
Like, so what you guys would know, like just in general, is there are some people who follow something called the light. They're usually the high priest of something. Like the high priest of a god would also be a officiant of the light, but it's usually like, and you might have heard of the speakers of the dead, like what I did, but you might not have. But there's a lot of religions in the world, so it's not like okay, that's not too crazy. So I figure most people probably wouldn't hear about it unless they get into like the upper echelons because that's usually where it's kept. It's kind of hoity-toity. It's kind of like, but it's also because that's where it's kept because most people don't need to. There's the light doesn't need a lot of officiants. It doesn't need a lot of uh, shrines and temples and stuff because it exists of itself when all of creation communes together. That's what creates the light, which is why slavery is going to be one of the probably the biggest enemies of the light, because you are hurting like a large, like if you enslave a town, you just took out all of the light of that one area and then dispersed it and broke it in a really, really like jarring and vicious fractures, like breaking the glass, right? Like is bad. So slavers probably, I mean, one of the worst, because you're not just doing it to one person, like especially if you're enslaving multiple people. So I mean, I don't know, in my mind, like my father, if he's enslaving like whole cities and or like building his kingdom up on slavery, he's
Yeah.
kind of a big
So
bad in my.
It
Anyways,
sounded to me like he's selling people into slavery.
let's get into that. I think that's a good transition. Like,
Okay.
do you guys have questions? Because I just kind of
No.
talked as the guy. Do you guys have questions about what he said? I think this is a good player check-in moment. Like, oh, correct. If I didn't make that clear, he is a human trafficker. Like, the the kingdom dried up because the surrounding kingdoms that used to be allies found out about it, but kind of like took the "not my pig, not my farm" attitude and just cut ties. He's still got buyers for slaves. So, and yes, it is like, I mean, we're probably talking at least triple digits, if not four digits, depending on how far you want to trace this back, right? But then it came out. Then old boy Alfred found out about it, was gonna rat him out, you know. But yeah, any questions you guys have, now would be a great time to ask them. If not, that's also good.
No.
Okay. So,
I feel pretty good about.
okay. No, that's totally fine. I just wanted to make
Yeah, 'cause
sure.
I have the gist, but I know I pick up better when I play along. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's fine. It's also sometimes having the information makes the playing better, but that's your call.
I mean, I don't have any questions. I think in game world, things make sense and things are coming together in game world, and
Right, and
I have questions, but those are questions I would expect to find out in game.
right, and there's obviously
Yeah.
there's player knowledge and there's character knowledge, but if there's things you as players would like to know, ask them, and if your characters wouldn't know that, I'll just tell you. But
far, everything-
if there's something he said that maybe wasn't crystal clear, then I will clear that up.
I have a question.
Sure.
How close of a relationship would you have had, Nitsua, with his family? Would you have been raised with his daughters? Like, how old is Nitsua compared to his children?
I'll field this one, just because this feels. I don't mean to step on your toes here, Austin, but this feels more like a world building thing than a backstory thing. I would
know
say,
you said he's uncle something, so I know there's
right. So like
That's how I thought
you
of
would
him.
definitely, yes, this guy, yeah, he would have been like that, you know, like like my god kids call me uncle.
familial uncle.
I'm
yeah.
not fucking related to them. But you know, it's great because I don't have siblings. So anyway, it's one of those type relationships, a honorary uncle, if you will. His kids are older. He was older. He was probably, you know, 60s, 70s. If he was a human, he was a half elf. So his daughters are going to be older than you. They're probably, I don't know, late 30s.
They probably babysat me then, right?
Yeah, probably. That's I mean, if you didn't have like servants and nannies to do that, yeah.
Yeah, but that's what you got, parents. That's what I mean.
Right. Yeah, that like
Yeah.
if this was just regular everyday suburbia, yes,
So you're
1,000%.
probably recognizing the voices now.
Right. They
Well,
were
because it's been a while, and they're super pissed, and they're kind of ethereal.
yes.
But like,
Yeah.
It's the ethereal shit.
Nitsua wants to switch teams. I don't. I'm
Mhm.
just saying.
Well, he needs to tell us.
I mean,
'Cause if they're involved in this,
But we got to get into it for
Right.
that.
But yeah, so if you guys are good, I am fully prepared to dive into this.
wait. Do we don't know that the women who are attacking us essentially are Uncle Dude's daughters? Do we?
I believe, with what I told you, you certainly would have pieced that together if I didn't just outright say it. I believe I outright said it. I'd have to listen to 1,000% confirm that, but let's just say let's say your characters pieced it together, and if they didn't, they're like 95% sure.
Mine probably certainly. I mean,
Yeah.
you probably certainly did. And we need to have a come to Jesus among the three of us of what the fuck's going on.
Right, but you can't make that happen under your power. You guys talk amongst yourselves. I just realized I have to piss real bad.
I guess shit happens. But yeah, John, I pretty much just had fun reskinning it for Grey Jedi stuff. And that's where I pretty much rewrote it, the Grey Jedi Creed and stuff for this stuff. And it was just fun, and so I started getting into it, and then like I had an idea of it actually being part of the game with the speaking part, and Adam was like, "Fucking kill it, dude! Send it." And
for sure.
And so now it's becoming, as he levels up, essentially, he gets more attuned with the light. That's how he gets more powers and stuff, right? So, but it's all just being made up on the fly, and I'm enjoying it coming out in the game naturally. So.
No, it's been a blast, man. I've been enjoying that.
And I like how Ace seems to be like a wayward guru. He doesn't even know he is. Like,
he doesn't know what he knows.
He thinks
because he's been all over the place, so he's got a lot of knowledge. He just doesn't think about it.
Yeah, he thinks he's faking it, but then sometimes he'll say something, like he's already disregarded his own like why he's saying and doesn't take it into account.
Yeah.
But then the wise people around him, and like in this case, too, is like, I'm gonna have to chew on that.
He moves on to the next thought, which was really stupid, and you don't notice that he said something kind of smart. He's like, "No, let's go to the squirrel. There's another thing over here."
Yeah, and then there's Braddock in the background making checking people when they need
to be checked. Yeah.
And if they fuck around, they'll find out.
Right.
Exactly.
So you guys are still in this guy's house. It's the four of you. It's you three, the captain, and I think the wizard is there. He came in.
Yeah, we wanted him to see if we could use him to.
And like we said, it's pretty early in the morning. I think we said like 3 or 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
Don't worry, like whatever resting. I'm pretty sure nobody spent things or had hit point damage, so just coming off a long rest. It's all good. What do you guys want to do? Kick it off here.
I believe we need.
We were
to talk about.
We were talking about what we were going to do with him. If we're going to like put him in jail or put him here.
Yeah, we need. First, we should make that decision.
And I think Ace had an idea about that.
Well, Ace almost offed him.
Yeah.
By the way,
that almost happened.
Which Braddock's for?
Nitsua would not have faulted him for it either. By the way,
I get it.
Like he'd be like, well, he got what he deserved. Like,
right.
That's the difference between mercy and grace. I was offering grace.
Yeah. Well, Ace offered himself as a gun.
Right, but
by Braddock's decision.
That's
no, Braddock's suggestion. You make the decision on your own.
You gotta be careful when you're suggesting something.
I feel like if you had off that dude, Ace would have been like, "I was just the gun. Braddock pulled the trigger." Fucking bullshit.
It was not my decision. I am simply an executioner for the crowd.
I get it. I get it. It's like giving crack to a crackhead.
Right.
Yes, I get it.
It's like you didn't have to smoke it. Oh man.
Well, I'm just steering into the chaos.
Is a little push.
Right. There's nothing better than smoking rocks. Yeah. So I'll just. So the captain's like, so what are we going? I kept the captain's voice. Yeah. So
Yeah.
what's the plan here, boys? This is fuck. This is a little above my pay grade, despite the promotion. Fuck, are we doing? I mean, this
Well-
has diplomatic fucking implications. I'm deferring.
Well, one thing, if this gets out, this man's life might be in jeopardy.
I think that's
Uh,
almost a certainty.
We should probably put him in some sort of protective custody, the jailhouse, and
Well,
for now until we
Here-
can figure out what to do.
just offering all options. The secret's here. Taryn, you know how to keep your fucking mouth shut, right? And he's like, yeah. I see this is delicate, and you have my word. It lives and dies here. But if you need me to testify or anything, I'm there. And she's like, okay, so this secret's in here. I can't imagine Mr. Langley here would be dumb enough to fucking rat himself out. And he's like, I'm, and he does like the fucking zip lips fucking thing. And she's like, so I don't think protective custody is an absolute necessity, but I do see the benefits of it if that's the route y'all decide to go. Basically, she's saying, do whatever you want with this guy, whatever you think is best.
Should we at least take him in and make it known to the people who and what he is?
What good would that do for the people? Is that a punishment for him or a punishment for the people? Like, how does that help
The
them?
people deserve to know what's going on around them. Are we
I mean,
just going to
it's one less
hide
bastard off the
everything?
street.
Well, in that
Or
case, we
abandoned,
should
I guess.
probably have a town council and make
Yes,
sure
I would normally I would just run through the streets screaming it, but you guys don't seem to like when I do that.
Yeah,
So,
it's not great.
I'm trying to learn to be better and to grow.
Here's just again, I'm gonna play devil's advocate this whole time. I think transparency is great, right? But I do see Netsua's point. If this is all happening elsewhere, across the pond, if you will, is it good? Is it bad? I don't know. I'm just asking. Is it good? Is it bad to let them know what's going on back home? Again, no real opinion. I'm kind of, like I said, in over my head. So,
Your Majesty, I could have a compromise.
what's that, Ace?
We can continue to keep this a secret until we solve it. But in the end, we tell them everything. We don't cover up or hide any villain. We let the people know the truth. And we let the people see all the evidence for themselves.
I gotta say, I kind of love that decision. Let people give them all the information you have. Let them make their own decision. I gotta say, you've got my vote there. But again, if y'all decide something else is better, I'm open to suggestion.
But we can hold on to this information until we figure out exactly what's going on and hopefully stop it.
I don't think we should do anything until we all agree on something. So whether or not to tell people sooner or later is still something we should decide on. But I think I need some time to think about this. I can see both points of view, but I also know that things like this continue because everyone always assumes that people are going to either panic or not act in their own self-interest. And these things are allowed to happen because they're not brought out to the light because it's hard. We just came from a town that was allowing bigotry and racism because no one wanted to say the hard truth and no one wanted to say bring the uncomfortable truth out.
Well, Sir,
So
may I remind you, Your
this
Majesty?
is something that I think that we may need to think long and hard. This might be something that we need to tell, but we need to make sure we do it together.
Of course.
Just DM side note, fucking excellent point. I love when fucking players come up with shit that I didn't even think about.
Well, you basically just, I mean, that's what I was seeing is that we just came from a place that was doing like.
No, I agree with you.
Something horrible,
It's
yeah.
just connections
It's-
that I don't
it's
always
evil.
make.
It's just the general, like, they're both doing truly evil acts.
Right, and
Yeah.
and again, the thesis, while not stated there, is evil just needs good men to do nothing. Thing
So,
that we've been
I'm-
fucking,
I'm coming to the
Good.
point where we might need to tell everyone here, and tell everyone everywhere, so this lie can't continue back home. I also feel a personal burden to try and get
Well-
back home, to put a stop to my father and to this practice.
So
This is hurting thousands.
I-
Who knows how many?
I think that's a great point. I see this going one of two ways, though, right? I see it going one in your favor, and the good people here, they seem to be good. They seem to be good enough. I mean, I don't know how y'all feel. And then they start thinking, well, fuck that place, right? Let's just bring them all over here. Let's just start fresh, right? And that'd be fine. I don't know how we'd feed them all, but we'd figure it out. She says, or it goes the other way, where you get fucking busybodies just saying, oh, he's just doing that so he can take over power. Again,
I think they're.
no opinion here. Just.
Well, I think those are good points, and I think those are conversations that we should be willing to face and have in the open. If people want to support someone like who does these things, then that's up to them, and I will set myself against them
I mean,
and everything they stand for.
let's face it. We all know. I mean, I know you were there your whole life, so these two not quite as long, but your father isn't exactly hated. He's pretty well. His approval rating's pretty good, man.
His persona is, and the mask he wears might be loved, but not that.
Agreed, but if he's up to all this evil shit and we ain't got any hard evidence, like
We need to expose him.
why should they believe you? I mean, I won't
To catch a slaver.
I get it. I want the dirty
That's what
laundry
we
out on
need.
the line, right? I mean, I guess you
Yes.
don't put it out on the line because then it's just still be dirty, but maybe smell a little fresh. I want the dirty laundry to get washed out, but
Well, you can also just cut the head off the snake.
100%. I mean, I'm sure he's got.
So you just want to go into the Capitol and kill your father?
I don't.
I think that sounds like quite the undertaking.
This is all happening.
I hate my
fast.
father quite a bit. I don't
He-
know if I can pull that trigger, Nitsua.
He
On my own.
he should definitely face justice, and whether or not he receives mercy or grace might not be up to me. But whether or not I would kill him, I would say that he has certainly earned death.
I'll be your executioner, but will you pull the trigger?
Shit, you'll do it as long as Braddock tells you to.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say, as
Or
long as I'm
Nitsua.
gaslighting you.
Either of my royal leaders gives me the order, and I will pull the trigger.
Well, I
As I have the entire time.
There's
I'd say-
also one other variable we're leaving out of this context.
Yes.
What's the dude's name again? The
The
uncle?
the shithead.
No, the guy
wizard?
who was killed. The guy who was
The
Uncle-
right hand, the hand of the king.
Oh, Alfred Booth.
Alfred Booth. Yes. Uncle
So-
Booth.
the one person we're leaving out of our equation is Alfred himself. Alfred must have had proof if he was killed, and his children might have that proof. Now,
Uh.
up until now, I did not know why we were being attacked the way we were, but now I think I might see why we were being attacked, and I might agree with them. So we might not have to start from scratch on this if we have new allies.
The captain's like, I mean, yeah, I can't imagine. I can't imagine that the king, as beloved as Alfred was, and I had the esteemed pleasure of chatting with him a couple of times, and I'll tell you what, that man had my sword from the first fucking sentence. She's like, I can't imagine that if he didn't have something, or if they didn't have something,
They wouldn't have killed him.
that he would have been killed. Because so the king, your father, he's loved. Alfred was probably loved a little more, just because he was so fucking charming. But you know, if he didn't have something to prove it, then
Right.
why he wouldn't off him, right?
Right, but Alfred was thinking of. He was probably thinking of what most people would think of is to expose him to stop it.
Oh,
But something like
I
this,
can't imagine it was any other reason.
something like this could happen again.
Sure,
And I think the consolidation of power of the kingdom into one family might need to be readdressed.
well, here's
That
the
might because we yeah.
Oh, sure. No, I understand. Like monarchies aren't always the best, but here's the thing: if Alfred didn't have proof, he wouldn't have offed him. I think we can all agree, right? But
Right.
if Alfred didn't have proof, like he's not like bringing this to light would have given him the throne. He wasn't doing it. He couldn't have been doing it
No,
for power
I know.
because that would have just went to one of your brothers.
Right, which is why we need to stop all of them.
Yeah.
We need to end the monarchy, to end the slavery and the potential for slavery in the future, at least in this way. This is one thing we can do. It sounds like I need to take over the throne so I can end the throne.
How far up the ladder do you well, I guess how far down the ladder do you think this goes? Like do you think any of your brothers are implicated in this? Like do you think I mean,
Two of the older shits for sure, probably. They would do anything Dad, anything he said. He could do no wrong, and they're always in it for themselves.
Now,
Some of them-
if we can't kill your father, can we kill them?
Well, kill or
I
exile.
love how you guys haven't been murder hobos this entire time, and now Boz is like full murder hobo, but in the best way.
I remember I told you when I first started this character, it was going to slowly transition into that.
Yeah. Well, there's murder
you're-
hobo, and then there's righteous justice, right? Like, murder
I'm just
hobo
glad
solves
that
every
hurt
puzzle.
somebody.
To murder the trope of the murder hobo in D&D is their hammers and every problem is a nail, right? So like fucking just keep fucking swinging.
There's a door. Kick it down.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, oh, transition you say, boss. I believe this has been day one shit.
Yep.
It's just it progressed from doors.
Oh,
No,
God,
yeah, no, it's
soon
it's
gonna be
just
chests.
escalating.
Now it's
It's
chests.
escalating.
We're just kicking
Yeah.
through chests. Got it.
You need that sometimes.
I mean, sometimes a motherfucker's gotta get his jaw jacked, right?
Your Majesty, there's gonna be problems if we have to deal with his family.
Well, we don't
One of-
necessarily have to kill them. We just exile.
One of them, no, his family,
Alfred,
Alfred's family.
Oh well,
you've
they're-
already dealt with them,
yeah.
sort of. I mean,
just
you've had
need to-
you've had dealings
If we have
with
to
them.
work with them,
Yeah.
one of them is responsible for the murder of, and he's gonna state the young girl's name.
And I agree. Exile is
And
an option
they
from life.
It's true. They did send dude on a murder.
they are doing execution.
They did.
We can work with them, but
Well-
whoever is responsible for those acts,
They would also need to see justice. I agree.
this is something. Now, as for our next step, we need to find a way to find them.
We need to find a way to talk to them. Yeah.
I do want to remind you, there's a third piece to the puzzle. So that's the other thing.
The
heart.
yeah,
Yeah.
the
heart.
lady. There's also a lady missing here on the island
Yes.
that
That's
has the other body part. We've destroyed one. The coven has one because I don't have another name for them. And
do.
the little old lady, the busybody, I believe she was, has the other item. I could be wrong. I'm just saying shit.
Her name's Constance. The captain chimes
Well,
in because she
if we
remembers
can-
shit.
If
Constance. Thorogood, right?
That's correct. You look at you go. You look at you.
Well,
she
if
pulls
we-
out a gold star sticker and puts it on your.
I
on your
remember
lapel.
things too.
If
He's
we
gonna
can-
stick his chest right out.
Sometimes.
If we can
You
find
stick your
that-
chest out, and she gives you the bait and switch and smacks it on your ass. So you have a gold star sticker
Ooh.
on your ass.
That's even better.
Well, gotta say I kind of liked it.
She said, "Focus, motherfucker. There's business at hand."
Sorry.
So if we can find her, we'll probably find the coven or these other 3 magical beings that found us when we found the heart.
The captain chimes in and she says,
That's the coven.
She says, yeah. So the family of Alfred that you've had dealings with and has now been revealed to be as such. That is the coven that John has been referring to, and I am down to call them the coven for.
Is the
brevity's
coven the
sake.
magical beings that we saw last time?
Yes,
That's his family.
Yeah.
I thought
That's
the guy.
That's his wife.
No,
his
they were
wife.
robed figures.
His wife was the big one. They're the one in charge, and 3 daughters.
Yep.
So, yes. So the captain chimes in and she says, yeah, I mean, if y'all find Constance and she has the piece that she was tasked to make disappear, she's trying to tread lightly. She's like, I assume if y'all find that, you probably can trigger a meeting. I mean, right?
Yeah.
They seem to be very much up in these 3 turncoats business, and when she says turncoat, she means Tipton Langley, Cronog, and Constance Thorogood, the 3 with body parts.
Yeah.
She says, "It seems like find that, and you for sure got your audience with them." She says,
Well,
"I don't where the fuck she's at. Fuck if I know."
You know who we need?
Who's that?
An expert in the local geography.
All right.
I believe Mr. Regan knows the most about this area
I'll go get him.
and would be a perfect guide on our excursion to find Constance.
Braddock sprints out the door. Cut to this scene.
I gotta pee real quick.
No, go ahead. So, are
Yeah.
you really going to get this guy?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So-
If John wants to include him,
No,
Yeah.
that's fine because John's going to pee anyway. So you fucking go to the inn because he's staying at the inn. You fucking what do you do? What do you do when you get to his door?
I still scream.
Okay. He opens the door. I don't fucking remember the voice for this guy. He says he opens. What's going on?
Well, do you have your maps?
I have some maps. I mean, I left some of them at back in Woodbreeze, but
Well, grab whatever you can of the local area right now, and get the hell out of the. Let's get going.
oh, okay. Yes, cartographers to the rescue. They are always the most important. And he grabs a couple and he follows you.
Don't worry, John. I got him.
You guys are leaving, and
Nice.
Babs opens. She sleeps there too because why wouldn't she? She was, hey, you fuckers, keep it down. It's not great. Fuck. And she just goes back to bed. She's just a scratchy old bitch. So you and Regan are headed back to Tipton's house, and he's like, "What's the how? He's like, Regan to the rescue. What's the mission, big guy?
Well, Mr. Regan.
He is not with you. You are not with him.
Oh, I thought he was.
Is this the
I thought you
voice I
said-
was doing for him?
I thought you said he was back at the house.
No, this is him and Braddock on their way to the house.
Oh, sorry.
In the drawer. Top drawer.
Yeah. So he's like, what's the mission, big guy?
Mission is get ready and get your shit together.
Well, check and check. What else?
Well, don't worry. We're gonna meet up right now with Ace and to be able to go over this.
Okay, fucking, you're just a regular tease, aren't you?
Yeah, I was just excited to go find you. And
Oh,
I heard your name and I went running.
yeah. I mean, I'd be excited to come find you too, BFFs, best friends forever, fucker. Wait, that's three Fs.
That's 3 Fs.
BFFs. Best fucking friends forever? Is that better?
I'll allow it.
Best fucking friends forever. Wait, that doesn't sound great. I mean,
BF cube.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. We'll workshop it. It's fine. And then by the time this conversation finishes, you guys are back at Tipton's house.
I assume it wasn't far away.
Yeah, I mean, this fucking town's like 100 yards wide. So yeah, you guys come in. He's like, he doesn't even wait for you. Like he pushes past you, opens the door, he's like, Regan to the rescue. What can I do for you?
Ah, yes. Exactly the man we need.
Yeah, I thought so.
We are trying to track down some missing colonists. So we need all the information you have on the surrounding area so we can put together an idea of the best places to search. And you, as the expert on local geography, were the man I knew to call.
He says, oh, and save your insight checks. You can tell that the expert in local geography line pretty much gave him a semi. He's like,
Yeah, he's gonna do whatever I want.
I mean, yeah, he flattery works on this motherfucker. So he takes out a few of the maps he has. He says, these I made. He's like, don't tell anybody, because I don't need any looky-loos going through my house. But I brought my best maps. And he unfurls them. And the first one he unfurls is just an extremely detailed map of Woodbreeze. It looks a lot like the one that I had on Roll20. So there's that. The second map he has is a map, and it has like an X, like, and the word Woodbreeze written by it, and then there's like another X with like a path drawn through it, and between the X that's connected to Woodbreeze, excuse me, I am belching. It says Kobold Hideout, it says Bonefist Caverns. Yeah, that's a better name. Bonefist Caverns. So that's the Kobold residence. And then if you look at the map with a little more of a discerning eye, you see that Shoebill Coast is on there now, but you can tell it's way more fresh. Like he did it that night. He's like, oh, here we are. You also notice it's not in a great spot. It's a little off. Like the scale is just not. It's not perfect.
Yeah.
To, I'm sure, no surprise to you guys. And he says, and this map, this one, this is my masterpiece. And he opens it up, and it's fucking blank. What would you guys like to say here?
I mean, these look pretty fantastic. I think I got a good idea. What about you, Nitsua?
This map is fucking blank, you idiot.
What is this map? Is this map written in
Oh.
Braille?
No, he doesn't say that to Ace. He says that to
Regan.
some motherfucker.
He says,
Got you. I like that.
He says, that's the thing, Your Majesty. With a blank map, you have the greatest adventure you could ever want. And like he thinks this is the fucking coolest thing that anybody has
I get
ever
it. It's
said.
an open canvas.
Yeah, it's a blank canvas.
See,
So
my big
world
guy
is
over
your
here,
map,
he gets it.
right?
That's why we're best fucking friends forever.
All right, so where's north on this map? Shut up. There's no
he
north.
points at the
This is a map.
ceiling.
This is a piece of paper. You don't like maps. You like pieces of paper.
Oh, he's like,
Like this is so. Just real quick, this is the first time you guys have seen Nitsu like legitimately lose his cool because like
I'm loving it. I'm
Yeah.
loving it.
yes,
like
don't
providing
stop.
something like this kind of stupidity. Like, yeah, this isn't a map. This is a blank piece of paper. This isn't even a good map paper. What is this? Is this for like watercolor? He
This
takes it and like feels it. He's like, this is a watercolor. This is what do you need charcoal? What the
This
fuck
is a prequel to a map.
Is this impressionism? This isn't even good drawing drafting paper.
He says, I mean, I guess if that's, you can tell he's like starting to like break a little bit, and he's like, I just love it. I love adventure, not like danger, but like I'm sorry.
Have you ever had any schooling in maps at all? Do you even know what cartography is? Can you pronounce those syllables together?
He starts
Yeah,
sobbing.
this is how you should feel. You should feel bad because this is bad. If you want to learn, if you want to get better at this, then you have to apply yourself and you have to admit that you don't know what you're doing. Because otherwise, everyone's just going to be nice to you and let you think that you know what you're doing because nobody cares about you because this is useless.
Well, how is he gonna learn if you're just making him cry?
No, he needs to hear the hard truth, Braddock. He needs to know that this is worthless to the community. He's getting around stuff that's only going to get people lost. This could cost somebody their life. Do you understand that? You're risking our lives right now. Is that what you mean to do?
He can't even answer you. Like he's trying to like get like words out, but he's just choking on them, like snot's running into his mouth.
All right, so this is what we're going to do. You're going to learn how to make a fucking map if it fucking kills me. Look at me in the eyes, you little piece of shit.
But I thought his map making was already threatening people's lives.
It is, which is why he needs to learn how to make a map so he doesn't get someone killed.
Well, either way, somebody's lives are fucked.
Well, his apparently, because he's just living his whole life in this dreamland of freaking map making.
I would like you. Okay, while you're here, Austin, because I love the fucking mood you're in. It's fucking killer. Everybody roll me an insight check. Just on his whole mood. Okay. Boz got a 9. Austin got a 16. Austin.
I got a 7.
Okay.
Because I rolled with
Austin
disadvantage.
passed, which is the most important one. You can tell that just based on his whole thing and the time you've spent with him, it's not that people have been blowing smoke up his ass and like that he thinks he's this master cartographer. It's that nobody else knew any better to tell him he was wrong. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So like he wasn't undeservingly confident. It was more blissful ignorance. Is that a good?
Enthusiasm, yeah.
Yes,
I
and
mean,
enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Technically, he is a master because nobody else was good enough.
Right, when you're the best.
Yeah.
Like so, please continue with whatever you want. I love all of it. I guarantee you I will continue to love it. But yes, you can tell that he didn't mean any harm by it, which is probably why he's a mess.
Braddock, I have an idea. And Ace is he's gonna grab that piece of paper. He's gonna sit down with
The
a
blank
pen
one?
and a pencil, and Milo takes off out the window
Okay.
and starts flying up real high. And he's gonna start doing a sweep of the surrounding area and giving me images because he can send me images as long as he's on the same plane as me.
Yeah, it's
I don't have to go catatonic for this
it's
because I'm not taking control.
What's his dark vision? 60 feet?
Yeah.
Okay. So how high are we talking here?
Oh, I'm trying
Because
to get
it's-
a lay of the land.
No. I totally get what you're doing, and I love it.
I
But
didn't
it's
realize
still pretty
it was
dark out.
still like 4 a.m. I was
Yeah,
hoping it was starting to get
I'm
daybreak.
thinking like 5. Like you might start to see like pinks over the horizon. You know, like
Okay.
the sun's about to rise. But what you can get for sure is like I'll tell you what I'll give you. I'll give you like a mile, like north and south as I've rotated the compass on the map. So like Shoebill Coast, the way we're looking at it, you got to turn the compass 90 degrees, right? On roll 20.
Yeah.
I'll give you a mile up and down the coast, and so you can at least like get that coastline pretty well.
No, for sure.
So you got
I'm down with
something
that.
there.
So, and he would go to start writing, and he'd be like, "I'm gonna be horrible at this," and looks at Natsua, kind of like worried a little bit. You might yell at me, Natsua. Here, take these, and I'm going to instruct you on what Milo sees, so we can properly map out this area.
Did anybody else think that John was about to drop on us that Ace was illiterate? Because I did for like half a second.
No.
I totally did. Like, I thought he wasn't going to be able to write Shoebill Coast or something.
No.
Sorry.
No.
So
I like it.
We need
But
to.
no.
In my talking and just getting to know everyone in the town, would I know someone in the town who makes our maps, kind of thing?
Fuck. Did I have anybody?
They would be somebody-
Sadly thought of that.
So
They would have. So if
Here's
we're
what-
standing
In the first wave, Austin.
I'll tell you what you had. You know who would have been probably your best bet was the captain of the ship, but she's gone. You've got hang on, let me go through this. You got a blacksmith. You've got Jerry Moonbeam. He might be able to help you. No, not him. Nabs is the Fletcher. Ash is the orc farmer. You've got a rancher. You've got a cleric. And you've got the wizard.
Like the regular people of the town, like.
Everybody else is fairly unremarkable.
Farmers / body.
They're just commoner, like they're fucking commoners, man. Like they're villagers. They were hands, like more hands make less work kind of fucking people.
They're dumber than Regan. You just haven't really talked to him enough to figure that out.
Yeah, but they don't have the false sense of confidence. They don't have that Jeremy
true.
Yates confidence, which I know is just a joke for John. But yes, they're great people. They're simple. I mean, there's places.
So we're doing this though. So we've got our drone up in the sky.
Hang on.
And we've got some paperwork.
Austin, real quick. Let me tell you this before you guys get going. Or
'Cause
before
we're
you get
about to.
going on since we're sort of map centric right now. There's places in this colony that you haven't been. You guys know that, right? You should know that.
All right.
I mean,
People we haven't legitimately interacted with yet.
I'm talking more buildings. Like, I'm trying
Well, yeah.
not to just fucking spoon feed it to you here. But there are buildings you haven't been to. One in specific that I don't want to just fucking tell it to you. But I can.
We go to that building.
So the captain pipes up and she says, "Guys, I mean, this might be crazy. I don't know. If we're looking for Constance, why don't we just go to her fucking old house and see what's over there? Like, maybe she has a journal or something. Maybe she left something."
I thought we found something of hers along the way.
No, you never found
Okay.
you never found anything from her. Not to my recollection. And if you can't remember it and I can't remember it, we're gonna say it didn't happen.
I'm not saying it didn't.
I'm not saying that you
That's fine with me.
you may have, but if neither
Yeah,
of us
I
can
don't-
remember it,
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that.
we're gonna
Yeah,
move
that's
forward
what
as
I'm
if it
saying,
didn't happen.
For sure.
She's like, I mean, just a thought. Y'all are the fucking superstars here.
You know, I think we should go check Constance's house.
So
And he
why don't
winks at her and says, "Thanks."
Yeah, she's like,
so
you
why
got
don't
it.
you two go check Constance's house, and we'll well no we need Ace for the for overview of the map.
Well, you probably Ace's map thing is probably best served in a couple of hours anyway.
We can wait
Like
till
you need
daylight
some
hits
you need some
to
fucking
get a better
daylight
view.
for that shit to work.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
let's go check Constance's house.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of an idea. Like
Yeah.
I was
No, for sure. I get you. So you go. I'm gonna actually.
I wanted to try the shitty NPC first, though.
No, I get it. So you guys,
That was awesome.
I'm moving
Austin
you.
kicked ass.
I moved you back into a different map. You go to a house, and it is very similar to the mayor guy's house, right?
Which one are we needing
It
to look
is
at?
the one under the bar. I'm painting it right now. It's a lot of red and chandeliers. It's a nice house, right? Excuse me, goddamn.
Not the one you gave us.
Which one is it?
It's
All right, my shit's still. My roll 20.
This one?
I'm gonna go the rest
I
of them.
mean, here I can just screen share because all the notes I have on it, you guys already fucking did.
I think I'm on it.
It's this one. That one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one I'm pinging.
These are all the notes I had. It's a similar house to this. So in the to save us some time here, you guys start. Are you guys when you guys get here? Are you just basically controlled ransacking this fucking place?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean,
Reddick, door.
On it.
Yeah,
This bitch deserves her door kicked down.
Yeah, you see a very it's about waist height for you, Braddock, but it's a very ornate like old English style C with a L like interlaced in it, almost like the Cardinals logo is, like how the letters overlap. It's a a C and a T because it's Thorogood. So CT, and yeah, you kick her fucking door down because why wouldn't you? That's kind of your whole deal. And yeah, you go in and it's a nice house. You go through it and eventually, I kind of want to wait till Austin gets back, but you're gonna find stuff that's good. And I just want to wait for him because, you know, more brains, right? People forget stuff. Jesus Christ, there's 14 fucking goals in this game. This is stupid. It's 9-5 with 10 minutes left in the third.
God damn.
I know. Well, hey, what's good is
Is Carey Price playing?
Carey Price hasn't played in like 2 years.
Really?
Yeah, he got hurt early last year,
Is
or
he
maybe
ever coming back?
No, it's unlikely.
Oh, okay.
And then he had substance abuse problems.
He was relatively young, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's like 34. But yeah, he had substance abuse problems. I don't know if it was alcohol or painkillers because his knees were fucking destroyed. One from playing goalie and two from getting run by a certain New York Ranger piece of shit. But yeah, the good thing is that his they weren't likely to trade him or get rid of his contract, so he's probably going to retire Canadian. So that's good for me. Anyway, Austin, they came to Constance's house. Braddock kicked down her door. You guys do what I call the controlled ransacking of the place, and you guys find a journal. And for a while, it's day-to-day stuff, what's going on in the colony, and then with interspersed, and this journal did have a lock on it, but you have a very strong guy in your group, and I figure between Nitsua or Braddock, you guys would just rip this bitch open somehow.
I have lock picking too, but
right.
Ace would more than happily let them rip it off. That's more fun to watch.
For sure.
Yeah, I can pop it.
So you see,
fuck that.
You see,
rip it open, Braddock.
You see the first like I don't know week or so, it's like day-to-day shit. Then the day-to-day shit gets interspersed with like what am I gonna do with this parcel? She keeps calling it a parcel, right? But what you know, you're pretty sure that it's the piece of Alfred that she was supposed to make disappear, right? And she's like, you see, like, you see that she starts like expeditioning, right? Like, she starts like traveling out on her own. She takes rations and she finds paths, and she's pretty decent based on what you read. She's pretty decent at exploring, right? And she says one of them you see a entry that says something like traveled north for a few days. It's all very vague. She mentions the mountain that Tipton mentioned in his writing. They called the mount. She's like went around the mount, found climbed it a bit, saw something interesting, and then you see that she starts thinking, right? And like just reading, you see her thoughts start to formulate, and it's like she's thinking about what she has. She's thinking about how she's a smart lady. She's more street smart, right? She's like a streetwise character. Um, she's good at she's a manipulator. She's very much Varys. From I almost said Lord of the Rings, from Game of Thrones, right?
What's her age?
Older, but so you're probably surprised at like the expedition she's taken, um, but and Austin Nitsuo would know her, that she is older, but she's getting around, and based on she's like she's like you see the last entry says something like headed to, and I'm just going to say as Adam because I haven't named it, X place. She's headed back to that place. She saw an interesting place. And she says, I think I can turn this parcel into something that's greatly beneficiary for me. And that's the last entry. So you have a general direction of where she was headed and what her goals were. And that's about it.
Had she mapped
is there
out
anything
any of the area?
I actually want to do it this way a little bit. I've given you guys some minimal stuff here, admittedly. Is there anything in there that you guys would like to know besides a location? Like, ask me some questions that you might be looking for, and I'll decide if I got answers for them.
I have not really a question about the journal first.
Sure.
Do you have a casting for her? Just so I can get an image of her exploring the area. Because I have that, but
Whatever.
I have an idea.
I don't know the actress's name, but let's go with that chick that plays Dolores Umbridge, since everybody seems to hate her.
Okay.
Nice.
Is that
I was
good?
gonna say Lori Metcalf, but I like that.
No,
If
I
she's
like her.
supposed to be more evil.
I love her too much to do
Okay,
that to her.
then yeah. No, cool. No, Dolores Umbridge, I fucking love it. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that's
I hate her now.
Yeah,
Cool.
I mean, I don't know anything about that person, so or that character, but I know people don't like her.
Yeah, total bitch.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Don't like her. She's worse than Voldemort.
Voldemort,
Okay,
pretty much.
we can say this. She does like pretty much torture children.
You guys realize that
Torture
worse
children
than
for fun.
you guys realize that worse than Voldemort tells me nothing.
Oh God.
You need to watch fucking Harry Potter.
I've seen
dude.
the
It's
first
good.
4. I just didn't have a lot of desire to keep going. Anyway, back to the.
It's like if there was Hitler, and then Hitler had
3
a
and 4 is where it picks up.
who just enjoyed torturing children for fun.
I've also been told that my favorite one is like the worst one,
Which one?
Goblet of Fire.
No, that's not the worst.
Oh, I
one.
like that.
I've heard a lot of people not
That's-
love it.
Honestly, that's my most rewatched one.
No,
I don't-
Both of us.
I
I
just
think
like
the
the
people-
I like the context.
Prisoner of Azkaban is probably most.
people
rewatched.
don't like it because it's probably the most divergent from the books. The movies are great.
Yeah, and I didn't read the book, so.
Hmm.
So is there anything you guys are looking for? Like I didn't even, like I said, I told Austin and I told John I had roughly 0 planned for tonight, so this has been all off the cuff. Is there things you guys would like to know?
So, do you guys have anything about her? Because is there anything specific we can get about like what she thought of certain people, people
Yeah,
on coming on to her.
I've got a question. Going through the journal, does it seem like she interacts with the community at all, or does she seem to have kept to herself mostly?
By that,
Did she,
you mean the colony,
yes, the
not
colony.
Stone Shore.
Did she have friends
Yeah.
in the colony?
So, yes. So based on her writings, like before she started like venturing out, right? She's kind of like a judgy bitch. Like I don't know if you guys had one in your neighborhood growing up, but we had like these old lesbians in our neighborhood, and like
Ours was a dude.
they
but
were.
yeah.
It had nothing to do with them being lesbians. They were just mean. Like if my basketball would roll in their yard, I would just go grab it real quick and get the fuck out of their yard, and they would come out and bitch at me, and I'm like, I didn't hurt your grass. You don't even mow your grass. Like, shut the fuck up. I'm like I care about my lawn now, but like, if a kid's ball goes in and he just gets it and then runs away, I don't give a shit. But like, they were those kind of bitches. So she's a judgy, gossipy bitch. Like, you see things in there written about like, oh, so and so did this, and what she wrote, like, it seems harmless as fuck, but it's written in a really nasty way.
Awesome.
John, you had a question. That
Yeah, it was kind of about like if there's anything in there, anyone that might have been on to her. Did she ever deal in like mention anything like that, or who else she was involved with? Is there any description of her mission? Details.
There is. You see some recountings of like maybe some secret meetings she had with Kronog and Tipton about their missions, and
Okay.
you see things that's like Kronog is. She gives you the impression that Kronog was like, he's like, I'm a big tough orc guy, right? I'll do this when the fuck I please. You see Tipton's like, kind of, and she mentions that Tipton hasn't been sleeping well, so like, he's not like he's not at 100%, right? And you would understand why, knowing what he went through. And she goes on
she
to like,
doesn't mention any loss of memory, does she?
No.
Okay.
No. You see nothing, like, you know that those two had their brains messed with. She hasn't meant anything you read in there, you get no impression of that. I know you didn't have a journal for Kronog, you had one for Tipton, and he detailed that, and you discovered Kronog's mind stuff later. She seems to have never lost a second. Like, Tipton had a lot of lost time.
She's strong enough to pass the save. She's not an elf, is she?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know that I fucking gave her a race.
I don't know that you ever stated it, but I know you had a lot of that.
Well, I mean, Austin would know.
So I was just asking.
Let's just say yes. Yes, sure. She's an elf who looks she looks older than Elrond. Like, she could be she could be Elrond's older sister. Like, she's that kind of age.
Elves are notoriously strong against mind controlling effects and resistant.
I like that.
It's likely she wasn't able to be put under a spell.
And maybe whether like,
because I know they have some class features that
like they're resistant to charm and shit.
Yeah.
But like, I kind of love this because you're now helping world build. Like, maybe that's why they still don't have her thing, right?
Yeah. No, it makes fucking perfect sense.
Yes. And again, this is another thing that I didn't come up with, but
there's a puzzle piece, Adam.
With the help of you guys, we're making this cooperative storytelling, right?
That's the point. Yeah.
That's the whole point of D&D. Congratulations, guys. We've D&D'd. Yes. So
that works. I like it.
Yeah.
Thanks for rolling with me.
She says, you see, no, I was going to say a thing and then I decided not to. But yes, you get
that was kind of player knowledge seeping into Ace, but
no, I
like it.
There's times when it's okay, and that was the perfect institution of it. But yes, so you know that she went north. You know she went past the Mount. That's what they've been calling it. It's just a big ass mountain that's north of the city, or north of the colony, and yeah. You guys keep talking. Apparently I broke the seal after 2 beers, so I'm gonna pee again. Sorry.
Jesus Christ, Adam, you have a lot of a child.
Well, Your Majesty, we could head to the mountains. Seems like a place to start.
I agree. This is definitely our next course of action when we leave town. We'll definitely need to investigate this area. It's nice to know that what the next step is, but I also don't want the truth to die with us if we leave and come back, or if we leave and don't come back. The people here need to know the truth, and we
You
need
want
to
to
shed
tell
light.
them now?
Well, what do you think? What do you guys? I mean,
Sorry.
That was my initial thought, and then I thought it might be best to tell them at the end.
Yeah, if you
Captain
feel like
Tucker
if you
knows.
feel like it's better just to wait, I'm cool with that.
What did I miss?
we're talking.
Or was it something I'm not supposed to
We're-
know?
No, it doesn't matter. We're
we're
just
in-
talking in character about the
What
what
we
we're
gonna-
going to do.
If we're
Like,
yeah,
we know our next move is to go to the mountains.
right,
But
but Natsu
what
is
do we do
hesitating.
about telling everybody still?
Oh,
We have to
Natsu is
make that
hesitating.
decision
Sure.
before we go.
He wants to tell people pretty much right now. He's getting to the point where he's worried that if something happens to us, the truth could possibly die with us.
So
Like-
he's
I
basically
love this.
he's
Ace
basically
planted
trying
that
to
seed earlier, then gave him a compromise, and Nitsuo went with his original Ace's idea.
Like if we don't tell people and we leave,
Love it.
it's pretty much all on the captain.
so
Like the whole thing.
oh, so you're leaving it up to her?
No, if we like essentially
If we
it's
don't tell anybody, it falls on her.
if if we all the three of us go north and then we all die, then it's all on the captain. If we tell the community before we leave and tell everyone what we've discovered, what we're doing about it, this doesn't change anything in our day-to-day lives here because we don't have any slaves, but we might need a form of we might need community feedback and like some council members to be appointed and or voted on by the community to help guide us in what's going on with this, because this is sort of a new like we're trying to figure out what to do with this kind of thing. So like
Sure.
that's what Nitsu is thinking. We
So-
should we want to get the ball rolling with that, and then we go and come back and then help.
She
What-
go so she
Otherwise,
said,
we just keep the lies hidden even longer.
she says I really I do appreciate you thinking about me like that. She says I mean I don't have she's like I'm not too worried, like fortunately even when y'all are gone the colony hasn't been in terrible danger. Knock on wood, and she finds something to knock on, and she's like, but we have some people that are capable. She's like, she says, Sangha, she's a cleric. She and like I said, they aren't as good as you guys. Sanga's a cleric. She can heal the injured. Nabs, he's kind of a little shithead, but he's pretty damn good archer. Ash, he's a big old strong boy. And these are like people that are here. You just haven't had a reason to meet them. She's like, shit, I bet Jerry Moonbeam can even fucking, hypnotize some people with his fucking dealings. She's like, and then there's Torget. I think she's like, Braddock, I think you gave him a hand one day, blacksmith. I mean, there ain't nobody stronger in the colony outside of you three. That guy, he can do his
Right,
share
well,
of heavy lifting. So
I like the idea of starting this new page with our people with transparency and saying that we're going to bring things to them when we find out, not when we think it's convenient for us or for them, or when we decide they should know the truth.
Sure. No, I totally understand all the benefits of transparency, and I'm definitely not opposed to it. The only opposition I would have to that is panic. And I mean, if we're over here and all the bad news is across the pond, I can't imagine a panic ensuing. Do you? What do you think about that?
I don't think our people will panic when they find out the truth.
No,
I have an idea.
I don't think so
Not,
either.
not here, not the colony.
Right.
I mean, it's too far removed. Like
Exactly.
people here will believe us because we have a witness who's willing to confess.
Sure.
And
Now, if he does confess, the one thing I do worry about is people wanting blood. You know,
Sure.
like they're gonna want his head maybe. Um, I
right,
don't know.
but the thing protecting his head from those who want him because they hate what he's done is because he is one of the few people who can prove the things that he has done and that the crown has done. We need to keep him alive to testify to the people. He was an enemy, and now he is our one of our greatest assets.
Yeah, and I honestly I think
And this
to
is what we need to explain to the people.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think if you want to protect this fella, which I don't think is the worst idea in the world, because who knows, he good he look, he's been valuable already with the info he's provided. He's not he's not gonna get less valuable. He's only got the potential to get more valuable. I think what keeps his head on his shoulders is you three vouching for him. Every goddamn citizen of this colony looks up to you guys, whether you know it or not. If you say he's good, he's good. And like this is like the probably the most sincere thing you ever said. You've ever seen her say, right? Like she's really trying to hammer this point home that like you guys are fucking heroes of these people. Like they don't fight, but if you guys asked them to fight a war, they would.
We might get to that.
Right.
I mean,
Are we ready for that?
you got like
We don't have
30.
the
You got like
people for
30
that.
people here, and you're going
not
up
gonna
against
fight
the
a
king
war.
and his army.
But
No.
you know what we will
Potentially.
do? We will strike Team Delta in that bitch and fucking murk everybody important on our way to the top, and then hold a meeting with the people and have them get a testimonial from Mr. Langley.
The
End scene.
the captain says, I gotta say, if everything is be believed, I don't think the testimonial is gonna come from Mr. Langley. I think the testimonial is gonna come from Alfred.
Well, here's
we might have fucked that up a bit.
well, there's always ways. The light works in mysterious ways. Right now,
That
what
sounds
if we
dirty.
what if we ask? What if
Right,
we
Braddock?
Well, it does.
Are you
So-
just, Boz? Do not turn into his fucking yes man.
Nobody's yes man.
That's right.
So here's
Yes,
what
man.
what if we gathered the people and asked them if they are ready for a hard truth? What if we were able to give them a preamble that what they're going to hear is hard but necessary, and the fact that we're bringing it to them?
Why are you making
Is-
it sound so sexy? I'm just
'Cause
fucking.
it is.
He does that a lot,
Hard,
doesn't
but,
he?
hard but
Captain?
necessary.
This
I'm
is
just
just
fucking with
this
you.
is upbringing and good education, and I'm not
I
telling
mean, we'll see. There might be some roles involved. Let's see. If you guys want to call a fucking presser, she can call a presser.
I like the idea of just plain transparency, Your Majesty.
I think
Tell them this. That doesn't mean we're leading them to war. We still need to find out what's going on, see what allies we have, and if there's a war to fight, we will fight it for them. They're not fighting people. They need to stay and protect their village
I'll be right back.
and build this colony.
Captain's like,
As far as I'm concerned, this is home.
And I think that's why we need to tell the people before we go. They need to know why we're going.
Agreed.
Captain's like, if y'all want to get everybody together, you know that ain't no problem. Is that what we're doing?
Yep, let's get them together. What time is it now? Like probably morning time?
It's probably rolling up on 6 o'clock. I mean, shit, we've been here for a legit hour and 15 minutes. So,
All right.
in game time, let's say it's 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Let's try
People
and
are
get
probably starting to wake up.
Let's try and get together something for like lunchtime. Like people are going to take their natural breaks. We're not going to like ruin everyone's day or like whatever. But yeah, let's try and bring everyone together around lunch. Let's have some food that we can.
We could do a hunt and get a big meal together.
Something.
Captain says, A-side, if you won't spread the word about a fucking meeting, I got just the guy. And she goes, just make sure he looks like himself. And she's basically hinting, just get Randy to go tell everybody to meet at I think there's a well at the center of town or something.
Sounds good.
Yeah. And she's like, all right. She goes, well, I'm going to head out. I'll go fetch Randy. I'll tell him to tell everybody he fucking sees and have them tell 2 people and them tell 2 people. But, I mean, there's only fucking like 30 people in this town, so word will spread quick. She's like, I'll go get him. Tell him fucking put that wand away. And
tell Babs we're coming back with food. Be ready to cook lunch.
I mean, she's always got the burners going, so I don't think that's a problem. But yeah, will do. And she heads out, goes finds Randy. And if you guys were to wait around for like 15 minutes, you'd just hear, be at the well, fucking lunchtime, bitches. He doesn't say fucking and bitches. He just says be at the well at lunchtime.
While this is happening, while we prepare, I need to have some time alone with. We gotta write these names down somewhere.
No, you have to write these names down. I have all these names written down.
Are they
Captain?
No, are they in the
snitch
on the notes field at all in Roll20 or something?
No. Well, actually,
whose names do you need?
Yes,
the slaver dude. The slaver dude.
No, you mean the guy that
the slaver is your dad.
The guy that spilled the beans he's in the first wave NPCs, which is in the thing, and his name is Tipton Langley.
Tipton fucking Langley.
Tipton Langley, yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ. I can't remember a god damn thing.
Yeah.
He's in the character names thing, right?
It's the second wave.
First wave NPCs. He came over on the first wave.
I don't see first wave. I only see second wave.
I have second wave.
Yeah. He's the second name. He was basically the mayor's lackey.
Eva Petrum, Gloria Tucker, Torget Globe.
Nope, you clicked on the wrong thing.
I see second wave. I don't see first wave.
How about that? Do you see it now?
I'm gonna refresh and see if it loads.
There it is. It came up.
Yep. There it is.
Okay. Oh shoot! And now it's loading for me.
Yep. So he's basically he was the mayor's lackey.
I need to have some time alone with Tipton.
Okay. I mean, Boz walked away, but I'm sure he wouldn't.
I'm here.
Yeah. So yeah, if you
Reddick, let's go on a hunt.
Yeah, that's not bad. You guys go out boar hunting or something.
Hey, we did this last time too. You guys went out and I did some shit.
All right, so you are the captain. The captain had already fucked off.
I got this, Austin.
Go tell Randy to spread the word. What do you want to do? He's there. You're in his house.
Oh, with Tipton.
Mm-hmm.
Tipton, I've got some questions for you, and I've got some things to share with you.
Okay.
I know where you are right now. I know what it feels like to feel lost and abandoned, to feel like what you were doing, you had your reasons, and each one made sense. I'm sure there's times when you look back and you don't know how you got where you were, but you were in too deep and you couldn't get out, so you had to survive. And I know what that's like when you try to survive. And you did that. And you're here. And I want you to see that everything that you've done and everything that has brought you here is for the reason for what you're going to do next. What is the good that you're going to do next? Everything that has brought you here to this point has brought all this potential for you together. And I want you to think about what it would feel like to remove the shame, to remove the regret, the sorrow, the depression, the pride, always trying to be better, always trying to look right, and letting all of that go. This is the journey that I went on when I learned about the light, when I learned about the community. I have some This is something that I can share with you and I can teach you, but it's going to hurt. It's not going to hurt because I want it to, but because you've been living in the darkness and the light is going to be bright on your eyes, and it's going to hurt at first. I'll be there with you, and I won't leave you alone to feel this pain in the light. Is this something that you think you could do?
He says, well, I don't mean this to sound snarky, but you've given me two options. Death, which, we all know what that is, and you've given me this option of turning over a new leaf, to save the words so much. And he's like, the life I've lived, it's done well for me. I can't say if I'm going from a classically moral stance that I led a great life, but you gotta look out for number one. Who else is gonna? Now, has that left some people in my wake? Yeah. Do I regret it? I don't know. He's like, but if the options are change or die, I'm gonna change. He's like you mentioned a very important word, survive. And he's like, that's always what I've been. I've been a survivor. I've hustled my entire life, whether it's in a righteous sense or not, whether it was, hustling in the slang sense or a more legitimate sense. I did what I had to do, and it seems like what I have to do now is perhaps take the path that you're telling me is the right path. Roll me an insight check, Austin, on the thing he just said. I also love that you have a +8 to insight with the way this character's gone.
Didn't roll. Hold on a second. I got my notes up.
No, you're good. Perfect. 17. Perfect. So, what you can tell is that if the threat of death wasn't on the table, he probably wouldn't really change. He'd probably just look for the next hustle, regardless of how righteous it was, right? He's he's a not just a survivor, but when the opportunity to thrive happens, he grabs it by the throat. He's a straight hustler. He's a grinder. He does what needs to be done, regardless of who he has to step on or whatever other words you might attribute to that, right? Like, obviously, he's been in bed with a slaver, so not the best guy. Um, but yeah, when faced with what you've presented him, he's ready to at least give it a shot.
So
And wait, and I will say, you discern that he's gonna give it an earnest shot. Like, he's gonna give it his all. He's always given everything his all, whether it was good or bad. Does that give you an
so
idea where he's at?
yeah, I got it. So Tipton, I want to make something clear. Um, if you cooperate and you you spill the beans, right? You give up the big guy. You that's it. You don't have to do anything more than that. Um, you will probably, your life will definitely be spared as far as I can tell. I'll try and I'll stand up for you, because you are now trying to do the right thing. Um, I'm not in all control here, but I will use what control I have to protect you and to help you. But the journey and the teaching of the light is separate. That has nothing to do with anything else. You can say no to me, and it's best if you do, if you aren't sure, if this isn't something that you want, because this will transform you. This will you will see things with new eyes, and that's part of what I mean why it will hurt. You will, once you see with the light, you see the connections of a community. You see the potential between all life, and when you see that, what you have done will hurt. Yeah. Oh, my wife is stuck on our new Peloton. uh Uno momento, guys.
That's awesome.
I can't get it turned off.
I I don't know if he can hear us, but I was straight up ready for Austin to just off this dude with you guys not not there.
I didn't know where this was gonna end up.
I don't know that it's not still going there, but we're gonna find out. I know how I want to play this guy, but we gonna
What
find
level
out.
are we?
Whoa, sorry.
We just turned 6. He got a feat, right?
Uh,
Didn't he take like some magic shit?
yeah, he took something. I don't know. Pull up his character sheet.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm like, is he about to fucking sacred flame this dude in the eyes? Because
So
I'm fucking all
so
here for that.
so when you the way of the light is difficult, but
Oh,
very rewarding. But this isn't something that you have to choose this moment. This is an offer on the table. You can say no now, and then come to me and say, I'm curious, I have questions. And I'll try to give you the answers. What I want from you right now, what I need from you to do my best to protect you, to look out for number one, I need you to tell me about you. I want to hear your life story. I want you to start from the beginning. You don't have to go all in once. You can jump around, say what was important to you. Um, I want to get to know you a little bit, and I want to be able to speak for you.
So he takes in everything you say, and you can tell. We can save checks. You can tell that everything you've said has registered fully. And he says, "All right. Before I get into this, I want to tell you that my reputation isn't great back in Stone Shore, and I can say whatever. I'm gonna say that he's like stumbling over his words, right? And he's like, I know what's on the table, and I don't have any intention to lie on whatever testimony I need to give. The problem that you're going to face is that I'm a less than credible witness. I'm not the guy you need. You need you need Uncle Alfred. And he kind of says it in a
Mhm.
envious tone, but at the same time you know that it's true. Like maybe he wanted to be that right-hand man kind of thing.
Is
And
he like a fucking Littlefinger
yeah, probably.
in
Again,
our Game of Thrones spy?
more connections I'm not making, but that are unraveling in game.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, if we had to
Wait,
have that analogy, he's certainly. But you maybe from her journals, maybe that was also Constance. Like maybe he spread between two characters. Um, he's like I don't have the greatest reputation. I just want you to know that. He's like, I know what's on the table. Um, but as far as I go, he's like, I've stepped on some necks. I'm not afraid of it. I did what I had to do, man. Eat or be eaten. And he's kind of getting into a tone where he's like fuck righteousness, right? He's like, I'm, it's kill or be killed. Like he's getting to he starts to tell you some stories about some things that he's done, and it wasn't great, but like what choice was he left with, right? It's like sometimes, especially in a setting like a fantasy setting, like sometimes you're faced with either you use your sword or you fall on it, right? And his whole life has been faced with decisions like that, and there's been some backstabbing, there's been some righteousness, more backstabbing than righteousness. I didn't have a whole story written out for this guy, so I'm just kind of riffing this, but I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being a pure fucking, squeaky clean guy, he's probably like a 3. um
Sure.
but he's also a little guy, he's slight, and you know that the position that he is in, he's done some he's woven some nice threads to get himself there. Like he's done some work. Like if you don't appreciate his methods, you've got to at least appreciate his ambition, I would say. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So we'll just fast forward through his life story. Say he gives it to you, but that's the overall impression you get of his life story. Like it's not good, but it's kind of admirable. Like how like Jay-Z used to sell crack and now he's a billionaire legitimately. Like I don't know people's thoughts on Jay-Z. I'm sure his clothes were made by sweatshop workers, but you know what I'm saying.
Sure.
It
Yeah,
was
I
the
mean,
best
and
analogy I could come up with on the spot.
no, yeah, great. I mean, that's pretty much.
It's a rags to riches story, but it's also not entirely righteous.
And basically, while he's listening, Nutsua just sort of uh, kind of goes into a half meditation. The guy really wouldn't notice, but he's sort of communing with the light, listening to this guy, and sort of using his connection with the light to bring out this guy, like his essence, just
Mhm.
who he is. Not like I'm not learning like anything he's not telling me, but it's helping me to get his essence, so I can speak for him later.
And I would
That's
say
that's what I'm gonna do.
I want to save a role here. I want to say that you don't know how, but somehow you get the impression that he's telling you more than he would have told you had you not been in this state, right? Like maybe
Yeah,
it's pulling just a little bit more out of
a little
him.
bit. It's just pulling some of the potential and
Almost like a mind trick, right?
sort of
You
like a
know,
mind trick.
these are the droids you're looking for.
Well, and
Um,
it's letting him know that because what he would sense from this side and is just non-judgment. Like nothing that he says is shocking
Right.
to me, and like
It's
I accept and validate what he's
it's the
saying.
trust tree, right? Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Right.
And when
And
he says things, it's like, yeah, I get that, and I don't ask any questions. And he'll say something like horrible, and I'll be like, I can see why. Yeah, I get what your point is.
right.
And that's what drives
Like here's a good thing, like maybe like he was an orphan, right? And there was the he was probably like the second best or the second most appealing orphan, let's put it that way. And he stole some shit from another orphan, blamed it on the most appealing orphan to put him in the second spot, right? Or the in the top spot, right? So like that's a story he told you. Like he did something bad, put the blame on somebody else, but it got him adopted. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind
yeah,
of like his whole life, but as he got older, it got worse. So,
yeah, cool.
it's a
That
lot of shit like that.
that's happy. I'm happy. That's what I needed from this guy. And then I just essentially while we're doing this, uh, that's what he's doing essentially until lunch. Just letting this guy pour out his heart and soul and just take it all in.
Yeah, I know. I dig all of that. So we'll go to lunch. I'm not gonna do an encounter for you guys to kill a basic ass boar because you guys are sixth
No,
level.
no, yeah,
So
I don't need that. We bring back a
you
bunch.
bring
of
back
fucking
lunch. Everybody's gathered. Babs has cooked. There's a great spread out. Um, the captain steps up and she's like, all right, everybody, hope you've got a plate. If you leave here hungry, it's your own damn fault. There's some chuckles throughout the crowd. That's the guys, by the way, if you want to be a good DM, feel good about jokes you make, just have NPCs laugh at your jokes. You don't really need your players to laugh at them. That's a little trick. But she's like, we got some things to tell you. And by we, I mean these three back here, and you guys are back with her. I don't really think there's like a stage. It's a pretty simple place, and she's like, "Well, I'm gonna turn it over to these gentlemen, the boys." And she where do
Thank you, Captain.
hang on before you get going, Ace, because I know you're hard to stop. Where do you guys want Tipton at this point? Like, where would you have him? Is he stowed away? Is he up with you? Is he in the crowd? I just want to know that for my own, sake.
Mitsua?
Yeah, I think this is an Austin call here.
What's the question?
Where do you want Tipton Langley to be at? Like,
Right
is he-
next to me.
He's up with
He's
you guys.
right next to me.
All right,
Right
cool.
next to me.
Yeah. So like, since you guys brought him back, like some people have got to know him, but like, he's not like buddy with everybody. So
Yeah.
all right, take it away, Ace.
Thank you, Captain Tucker, for the introduction. We, your heroes, have once again returned, and we have quite a bit of news. It is myself, of course, Ace Burbank, Master of the Arcane and Dragon Slayer, as you all know.
I just want you guys to know that Nitsua standing next to Ace looks a little nervous. Like, what is he gonna say?
Killer of orcs who may or may not have been guilty of murder.
He's like,
No, I got an idea. I didn't have one until right now. Thank you, Austin. The Shadow Knight, Demon Prince, Darkness Dweller, and Breaker of Doors, Killer of Hymens, Braddock.
Jesus.
You hear some gasps and you see a few ladies like kind of like subconsciously cover their lady parts.
You heard him.
You also hear from the back, but you don't see where it comes from. It's like, yeah, and you wouldn't recognize the voice that it's May.
It's May.
Yeah. It came specifically after Breaker of Hymens.
Oh, and of course, His Majesty, the fourth son of the fifth seed of the second king from the third son of the light, and the shining armor of the shore of stone itself, the sacrificial prince, and
Doesn't get
the
old.
blade of justice, Nitsua.
You hear a couple of things after you do this. You all hear this. You hear whispers, like hushed tones. It's like, I thought he was like the ninth son. It's like, yeah, he definitely was. He must have just fucked up. He's like, and then you hear like,
He's the fourth son of the fifth seed. That's 9.
I think that's a thing you just fucking made up because it worked.
100%.
Yeah. And you hear Blade of Justice. That's fucking new. Whatever. Okay, shut up. Listen to him. And then they kind of like subside.
Watermelon.
Thanks, Austin.
So now that Ace has made introductions, do you like step aside? Do you keep talking?
Yeah, he steps aside for Nitsua because this is formal shit that he needs to learn to.
that he is deathly afraid of.
Yeah, he's not good. He's not afraid of it. He's just doesn't get the results everybody else wants.
Right. Nitsua, the stage is yours, buddy.
Yeah, he's looking throughout the crowd.
You see Tipton is sweating buckets.
So over the course of like whenever Nitsua has time, he's always tried to make himself available, and he's tried to get to know the community, like just the random people, right?
Right.
And he's making eye contact with everybody. Like he's just sort of going around.
I would think,
and
Austin, I would think at this point you've probably talked to everyone.
I know, right? And that's the point. He's looking around, like looking at people, making eye contact, and like just getting that sense of evasive presence that like he knows all of them, and he's talking like when he talks, when he's about to talk, it will feel like he's talking to them because he's building on that relationship.
I feel like he's got this thing that people say politician, like like they say Bill Clinton had it, right? And it's called like a cone of focus, where he could be up on a podium giving a speech, but it feels like he's talking directly to you.
And because he is, in this sense, he definitely is. And
right, you're addressing dozens of people, but they all feel like you're talking to them.
Right.
So does Nitsua. Nitsua feels like he's talking to each of them individually.
And it's kind of,
I think that's the point you're trying to get across.
Right. And it's also a bit draining. It's also because it takes a lot of emotional presence and vulnerability to do that all at once. When he's I have a question for everyone here, and this is going to be a hard question to ask, and it's going to be hard to answer. We have some news. I have some news that I need to share with everybody here. But it's difficult, and it's going to be hard to hear, and it's going to hurt. But it's the truth, and I think that all of you will be able to take it. I think you will be able to see why we needed to do this today, and you will understand what I mean. But while I can't tell you what it is and then ask you permission to tell you, I do want to ask everyone here, are you ready to hear a hard truth? and to take harder actions.
You hear the general rhubarb. Like people are fucking confused, and then they're,
He starts looking and calling out some people like, "Are you ready?" He doesn't call them by name, but he looks at them like, "Are you ready?
you see,
Are you ready?"
like you call them out, and they like look around, like because they're presumably standing by, like like either
Sure.
friends or family they have, and they're like, what the fuck, like, and like the majority of them are like, they're unsure, but they're like, yeah. I mean, they, like I said, you guys are their fucking heroes. So
Yeah.
if you're giving them the impression that this needs to be said, they're going to go with it.
Too many times in the history of people and kingdoms and rulers, truth is kept from the people because it's not convenient, because this isn't a good time, because we don't know how everyone will react. Because. And sometimes you have to put you have to put all your cards on the table, and you just have to trust that the people are going to back you up. We've learned some uncomfortable truths about my father. We've learned some uncomfortable truths about the crown. We've learned some truths about why we're here on this island. Are we on an island? I don't know what the fuck we are.
No, you're
This land.
Right
expedition.
near the beach.
This is we learned some truths why we are
mission is probably the best word.
why we are here today and why we were all uprooted from our lives. There's no easy way to say it, but at some point, and this is where he's going to start doing his speaking. It's subtle because he's telling the story of Tipton, but not necessarily from Tipton's point of view of how someone could grow up in the kingdom and how someone could become a person of means, and then that someone through the survival methods and schemes that they had became trusted by the crown. So this is where he's sort of doing his thing where he's used. This is where he starts to draw on the light for the community because he's doing this to heal the community, right?
Is he kind of telling Tipton's story with the
Yeah,
air that it's his story? Is that like
No,
what
he's telling it as if it's a hypothetical person,
Gotcha. Okay.
right? He's telling Tipton's story and saying that these are the things that can happen in this kingdom. So this person, a young man, could grow up as an orphan, and the only way he can get adopted is by moving the person in front of him. And then he kind of just keeps telling Tipton's story to the point where it gets obvious that this person is real. This person knew about the crown, and how through small justifications you start to see people as objects,
Right.
and you can make money off of these objects.
That's how
and you can
serial
sell
killers
these-
work. Like small permissions. They
and you
give
can sell,
themselves.
and then you start to sell these objects, and then you start to make more money, and then it starts to become easy. And the word slavery never comes up. The word slaver is far from your mind until one day you realize that you're already there, and there's nothing to do but to keep moving forward. That's what happened and that is what happened. The crown has been selling slaves. The crown has been trading in people as livestock. This is what's caused our neighbors to shun us. This is why we had to come here to create and generate new wealth. This has been the purpose of the crown. And as the son of the crown, I reject this. And as the crown here, I reject this. And I want to tell you these truths. We don't know what to do yet. We're still figuring some of this out. And then he tells the people that we learned these things. Now, when he was telling the story of Tipton, it became more and more obvious that this person was Tipton because it was his very specific story.
Right.
But people already
There's probably
they
some
already
people that know some of
right
his life.
because eventually in the story of this person was sent here as the number 2 to the appointed leader, which was obviously Tipton, right? And we found, and this person came to us. Well, that's not true. He wouldn't say that. He wouldn't lie. When we found this out, we confronted this person, and they confessed. And he is now, well, actually, he talks a little bit more. He's an eloquent speaker. He kind of shows them.
Before you go on, everybody give me a perception check. Or insight, whatever you're better at.
Ooh, 21.
Yeah.
Natural 20.
18.
Austin?
23.
Okay, great. You guys all rolled great. You can see that about 75% of the crowd, I rolled a D100 and I got a 75. 75% of them are just, they're with you. The other 25%, they're just kind of in an unsure state, right? Like, your father is, like you said, he doesn't, the only smudge on his record as ruler is that things started to dry up.
Well,
So you don't have anybody against you or like digging their heels in against you and like
Have you explained the stuff with Alfred yet?
He hasn't, but like I said, just based on the things you've said right now, you've got 3/4 of the crowd. So
right, and so
I
he
just
would
wanted
also,
to do. I wanted to do that then, and you keep going.
so he would, so the point was of telling Tipton's story the way he does it was so that they could understand Tipton as Tipton understands himself.
Well, and it's like sometimes you do a bad thing, and that leads to another bad thing, and the whole slippery
Right.
slope premise. Like that's probably Tipton's entire life.
Right, and so and that's kind of the point of showing like this is how an inside look of how all of this started.
And how
And
it's not that difficult to turn to a bad life.
right.
If you just let yourself.
So these are all facts that we are working on bringing together. This is actually what these all these actions are why the first colony was attacked and why they were there in diaspora now. This is the cause of everything so far. We are going to continue to be your heroes. He looks at Ace and winks, and we are going to continue to do everything we can to protect you.
He starts to float.
But there is
sparks and smoke come out of both of his hands.
And it was these lies live in darkness, and I will always try and live in the light. And when Alfred, don't tell me, I need to learn these things. Is it character names?
No, it's probably in the prologue, and it's
Prologue.
probably a little bit down, probably like halfway.
I remember his name is Alfred.
That's fine. Everybody knows Alfred. You can go with Alfred.
Well, he would use his full name. What's Alfred's full name?
Booth.
Booth. Yeah, he
Booth.
said that many
Alfred
times.
Booth.
Alfred Booth.
When my uncle Alfred Booth found out about these things,
Nice touch.
he also wanted to live in the light. He's one of the ones who taught me how to reach out to the light, and he kind of does the thing with his hands where he produces a little light. And when my father found out what Alfred was going to say, he took Alfred's life and his light, and then he poofs the light out of his hand.
Nice.
these are the
It stops
sins.
his magic.
These are the sins of my father, and this is my promise to you that I will not stop until justice is brought on my family and the crown. Whether by grace or mercy of the people, that is how I intend to leave the kingdom in the hands of the people.
You see the coincidentally the 25% that you didn't win over, they're all kind of in the same group, and you say that, and you're whispering. It's like you hear a voice pop up. I don't have a name for this person, so just general NPC pops up and says, "Well, that's so no disrespect, Your Majesty, but and you can see this guy is kind of scared to say this, but has taken your words in about you know, do what's right above all, right? That's basically been your thesis, like be morally good, right? And he says, no disrespect, Your Highness, but I feel the question is begged. How do we know that this isn't? And he, like, you can tell he's fucking choking on his words, like he almost can't get them out, but he's like, he finally musters the courage to get them out, and he says, how do we know this isn't just a plot to get yourself to the top? I'm sorry. And like he says that in a way where he like almost wishes he could reel those words back into his mouth.
Yeah, because he remembers a time that he was the last person at the tavern, and I was there, and he came over and just kind of seemed like if I was still up to talking with him, and we ended up talking for an hour, and we learned all about it, and
Right.
we talked
But
about
like, while it
something.
is a long path for you to become king in the traditional sense, like it's still a possibility.
Right.
Eight
No,
people have to die.
I've got this. I got
Do it.
this. This is
I
not
believe
the
in
first
you.
time I thought about this. The path. Thank you for asking. Thank you for saying that. These are the kinds of questions that we need to ask each other. We need the truth to come out, and we need everyone to feel comfortable. This is not my kingdom. This is your kingdom. This is your country. This is your land. This is your lives. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't want the crown. I reject the crown in its
I'll take
entirety.
it.
I reject the crown in its entirety, and I also reject the crown.
The captain
Adam.
elbows you in the stomach.
Oh, sorry.
Adam, that character you just came up with right now reminded me so much of Bidwell from Almost Heroes.
Oh, right. Yes. Perfect.
Name's Bidwell, sir.
My intention would be to take the crown, to lay it down, to give the power to the people, and let them choose a leader, and to choose a new governance. Power corrupts absolutely, and this is what's going to happen whenever we are tempted. One person may be honorable, but the sea does not. The point here isn't whether who's going to be the crown, who's going to wear the crown, or if there is a crown. Right now, it's just about getting the truth out there and letting everyone take some time to think about this. Take some time to think about what we're doing here. And if you have any questions, you all know I'm available. But you can also look in your heart, and you can feel the truth in this. This is why we're here. Why else would we be here? Why else would have all of everything else dried up? Everything has been pointing to this, but we've been too close to it to see the whole picture.
So you give this very powerful speech, and you see 3 people push their way to the crowd through the crowd.
Hey, Brad, go kill those 3 people.
No.
Perfect. The people you see are Torget Bellowback, who is the blacksmith that Boz took some time to work with, and the captain said basically one of the strongest people in the colony, in a physical sense. You see Ash, the orc that you guys kind of put in charge of the farm, the big lovable bloke. And you see Onrog, the big stupid drunk. He's a half orc, but he's a big motherfucker. And those 3 step up. And Torget, he's the one who, you know, came here in the second wave with, at least like people knew that like his father was here. His father was the blacksmith. So like he came in with some esteem, you know, like it's like, okay, this guy's going to work with his father. They were a respected blacksmith family in Stone Shore. He's got some weight to his name, right? He steps forward, and behind him steps Ash and Onrog, just 2 big burly motherfuckers. And he says, "What do you need from us?" And when he says that, everybody in the fucking colony takes a step forward. And that's where we're gonna fucking stop, boys.
All right, cool.